Let's cut through the noise. You're stuck, aren't you? Trapped in a life that feels like a hamster wheel, chasing the same meaningless day over and over. Your mind's foggy, your body's restless, your emotions are a mess, and deep down, you know something's wrong. You're not living with a soul. You're living like a cockroach, consumed by the present, forgetting yesterday, blind to tomorrow. But here's the truth. You weren't born to scurry through life, dying every night and waking up empty. You were born to forge a soul, to shatter the lies of this world, to rise above the chaos and claim your divine purpose. If even a piece of this feels true, then like the video, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications so you never miss the truth meant to find you, and drop a comment below. Your truth might help someone else wake up. The angels are whispering wisdom, and it's time you listened. This isn't about drifting through another day. It's about breaking free from the cockroach state and building a life that means something eternal. So stick with me, because we're about to unravel the lies and forge your true soul. 1. The lie of inverse perception. Let's start with the biggest lie you've been sold: inverse perception. Most think the deep truths about life, purpose, meaning, your soul, are some grand revelation you'll stumble into after decades of struggle. Wrong. The angels teach that these truths are the foundation you're meant to learn fast, so you can live a real human life, not a cockroach existence. But you're stuck in reverse. You see the world upside down, chasing lies while ignoring the obvious. You think your greatest failure, living as a non-entity without a soul, is your success. You call it getting by, staying comfortable, or just living. The truth? That's not living. That's surviving like a cockroach, absorbed in the present, dying every night when you sleep, reborn empty every morning. You're not meant to live this way. The angels are calling you to flip your perception, to see the truth as the starting point, not the finish line. Let's break that lie wide open and start forging your soul today. 2. The cockroach state, your invisible prison. Picture this. You wake up, grind through the day, and crash at night only to do it all again. Sound familiar? That's the cockroach state. Most live like this, completely consumed by the present, like it's all that exists. You forget yesterday's lessons, you ignore tomorrow's purpose, and you think this is normal. You die every night when you sleep, and if you can't sleep, if your conscience starts stirring, begging you to wake up, you treat it like a problem. You pop a pill, chase oblivion, and call it rest. The angels see through this. They know you're trapped in an ego-driven fantasy, an imaginary universe where you tell yourself you're important, strong, eternal. But in reality, you're wasting your potential, letting your soul decay while you cling to verbal excuses. You have no memory of heaven, no foresight of hell. You think your knee-jerk reactions to life are your conscience, your physical body is your immortality, your self-soothing habits are your will. That's not a soul. That's a cockroach wearing your face. It's time to wake up, to shatter this prison, and to start building something real. 3. The law of octaves. Why you forget the truth. Here's a harsh truth. Even if an angel like Metatron himself handed you the ultimate revelation, you'd forget it in 3 days. Why? Because of the law of octaves, the inertia that pulls you back to the cockroach state. You don't carry truth from one day to the next unless life forces you to, and even then, you fight it. You imagine you've got immortal qualities, strength, wisdom, purpose, locked inside you, but you're not building them. You're letting them slip away, night after night, because you're too busy living in your head, in that ego-driven fantasy where everything bends to your excuses. The angels are screaming, stop living in imagination. Reality isn't boring, your inaction is. You're not doing anything, so you hide in a dream where you're the hero. But that dream blinds you to the obvious. Your greatest failure is staying a non-entity, someone who never becomes whole. The good news? You can break this cycle. You can start carrying truth forward, forging your soul with every choice you make. Let's talk about how. 4. Truth versus lies. The cost of seeing clearly. Here's where it gets real. Truth is the most paranormal experience you'll ever have. It's not free, it costs everything. But you've been taught the opposite. You expect truth to be handed to you, while you pay for lies with your time, your energy, your soul. Inverse perception makes you think you can calculate how much truth you're willing to handle, like it's a transaction. But the angels know better. Truth demands all of you, and only after you pay can you see what's left. The world of the flesh tells you necessity is everything. Eat, sleep, survive. But in the world of the soul, necessity means nothing. What matters is what you do by will, by choice, by sacrifice. If you don't make time for truth, through discipline, priority, and intention, it'll never happen. You can't wait for life to force you into it. And here's the kicker. The things that used to be easy, like coasting through life, get harder when you start seeking truth. But the things that were hard, like facing your fears, building purpose, start to feel natural. That's the divine trade-off. Are you ready to pay the price? 5. The 3 types of humans. Which are you? In the business of truth, there are 3 types of humans: truth seekers, belonging seekers, and power seekers. Let's break it down. Truth seekers. These blend with the contradictory nature of truth, embracing both ends of the stick, light and dark, struggle and victory. They form structures of meaning, forging their soul through the hard work of sincerity and choice. They don't shy away from the pain of truth. They use it to grow, to become more than a cockroach. Belonging seekers. These chase the illusion of unity, clinging to groups, trends, or acceptance. They blend with their ego, not truth, building fragile structures that collapse under scrutiny. They're stuck in the cockroach state, imagining they're connected, but never truly whole. Power seekers. These chase control, status, or dominance, thinking it's strength. They too blend with ego, creating structures that serve only their self-image, not their soul. They're blind to the truth, consumed by a fantasy of power that crumbles in the face of reality. The angels are clear. Only truth seekers forge a soul. Belonging seekers and power seekers waste their potential, submitting to the nothing below because they believe there's nothing above. Which are you? Are you ready to seek truth, or are you still chasing illusions? 6. The paradox of the spiritual master. Here's a mind bender. You don't need a spiritual master until you know the basic truths of life. But you can't know those truths without a spiritual master to show you. Go figure. This paradox is the devil's trap, keeping you stuck in the cockroach state, spinning in circles, never moving forward. The angels offer a way out. Start with sincerity. Be true to yourself, even in the smallest moments. That's the first step to breaking the paradox, to seeing the truth that's been in front of you all along. You don't need a guru on a mountaintop to tell you what's real. The divine forge is within you. Your mind, body, and emotions are the tools. But you've got to start using them. Stop waiting for a lightning bolt of revelation. The basic truths, purpose, discipline, sincerity, are your foundation, and you need to learn them now, not at the end of your life. 7. The power of choice, your path to freedom. Let's talk about choice, because this is where most fail. Most don't even get to the point of making a real choice in life. You're so caught up in necessity, bills, routines, survival, that you never ask, what do I truly want? The angels are blunt. Not choosing is the greatest misery. When you finally get to a moment where you could choose differently and you waste it, that's the deepest pain. Judgment for squandering your potential. To even get to the point of choice, you need to make smaller choices, starting with sincerity. Be honest with yourself about where you're at. Admit you're stuck in the cockroach state. That's the smallest choice, the spark that starts the fire. From there, every decision, every moment you choose truth over lies, will over necessity, builds your soul. The angels are calling you to act, to choose, to forge your destiny one sincere step at a time. 8. The cost of truth. Pay everything, gain everything. Truth isn't cheap. It's not a free download or a quick fix. The world's got you thinking you can bargain for it. Pick and choose what truths you're ready for. But the angels know truth costs everything. Your comfort, your excuses, your ego. Those are the price. And when you pay, you don't calculate what you're giving up. You see what's left. A soul forged in divine fire. The inverse perception makes you think lies are worth paying for. Status, approval, distractions. But you're the product of those lies. You're shaped by them, molded into a non-entity. Truth seekers flip this script. They produce truth by sacrificing everything for it. They blend with the contradiction, pain and growth, loss and gain, to form structures that last. Are you ready to pay the price? To give up the cockroach state for a soul that burns eternal? 9. Sincerity, the first step to your soul. Let's get practical. How do you start? It's simple, but it's not easy. Sincerity. Be true to yourself even when it hurts. Admit you're living in the cockroach state, absorbed in the present, blind to heaven and hell. Stop hiding in your ego's imaginary universe where you're the hero of nothing. Sincerity is the smallest choice, but it's the foundation of every real choice that follows. The angels teach, sincerity is the spark that ignites your soul. Without it, you'll never see the obvious truths in front of you. You'll keep consuming everything, distractions, lies, meaningless days, because you want nothing. But when you choose sincerity, you start carving out space for truth. You make time for it, prioritize it, sacrifice for it. That's how you break free from the law of octaves, carrying truth from one day to the next, building a soul that doesn't die every night. 10. The divine forge, where your soul takes shape. The divine forge is within you. Your mind, body, and emotions are the raw materials, and the fire of spiritual work is what shapes them. Every day you choose sincerity, every time you reject the devil's lies, you're hammering your soul into something eternal. The world of the flesh says necessity, survival, routine is all that matters. But the world of the soul says will, choice, sacrifice, intention is everything. If you don't make space for truth, it'll never happen. You can't wait for life to force you into it, because necessity won't get you there. The angels are clear. What you do by will defines your soul. The pain of discipline, the struggle of choosing truth over comfort, the sacrifice of your ego, that's the fire of the divine forge. Embrace it, and you'll start to see the paranormal truth. Reality is alive, vibrant, and waiting for you to shape it. 11. The paranormal power of truth. Truth is the most paranormal experience you'll ever have. It's not a dusty book or a lecture. It's a living force that shakes your soul awake. But here's the catch. Those asking for proof are usually the proof. If you're demanding evidence before you act, you're already trapped in inverse perception, paying for lies while expecting truth for free. The angels don't hand you truth on a silver platter. They demand you earn it. When you start living for truth, something shifts. What used to be easy, coasting, hiding, making excuses, gets hard. But what used to be hard, facing reality, building purpose, choosing sincerity, gets easier. That's the divine exchange. The more you pay for truth, the more you see it everywhere. You stop being a cockroach, consumed by the present, and start becoming whole, connected to heaven's light. 12th, breaking the cycle. Actionable steps to rise. All right, let's make this real. How do you shatter the cockroach state and forge your soul? Here are 3 actionable steps to start today. Practice sincerity daily. Every morning, ask yourself, what am I avoiding? Write down one truth about your life, something you're scared to face. Maybe it's a habit, a fear, or a lie you tell yourself. Be brutally honest. This is your first choice, the spark of your soul. Prioritize will over necessity. Set aside 30 minutes each day for something that builds your soul. not just your survival. Read something challenging, meditate on your purpose, or train your body with intention. Sacrifice a distraction, scrolling, gaming, whatever, and replace it with action that matters. Seek truth, not belonging or power. When you're tempted to chase approval or control, pause. Ask, is this about my ego or is this about truth? Choose one action each week that aligns with truth, even if it's uncomfortable, like having a hard conversation or admitting a mistake. These steps aren't easy, but they're the hammer and anvil of the divine forge. Start small, but start now. The angels are watching and your soul is waiting. 13. Stand as a warrior. Blessed are the unfaltering. In the chant of light, it is written, "Blessed are they who stand before the corrupt and the wicked and do not falter." This is your call, to stand as a warrior of the divine forge, to face the corruption of lies and the wickedness of apathy without wavering. The world will tempt you to stay in the cockroach state, to choose comfort over truth, to let your soul fade into nothingness. But the angels are calling you to rise, to forge your eternal soul through the fire of sincerity and choice. This is your moment. The corruption of inversed perception, the wickedness of ego-driven fantasies, they're the enemies you must face. Stand firm, hammer your soul with discipline, and let the good pain of spiritual work shape you into someone who burns with divine purpose. Blessed are you who do not falter, for you will forge a soul that shines with heaven's light, a legacy that outlives your days. 14. The final choice. Forge your soul or fade. You're at a crossroads. Will you stay in the cockroach state, consumed by the present, dying every night, blind to truth? Will you keep paying for lies, chasing belonging or power, wasting your potential in an ego-driven fantasy? Or will you rise as a warrior of the divine forge, choosing sincerity, paying the price for truth, and forging a soul that defies the lies of this world? The angels are calling you to act, to choose truth over comfort, will over necessity, reality over imagination, to break the cycle of the law of octaves, carrying truth from one day to the next, to forge a soul that burns eternal, not a shadow that fades with the night. The truth is paranormal, alive, and waiting for you to claim it, but it'll cost everything. Are you ready to pay? You weren't born to be a cockroach trapped in the present, living a lie. You were born to forge a soul, to shatter the inversed perception, to rise above the corruption and build something eternal. The divine forge is within you. Your mind, body, and emotions are the tools, and sincerity is the spark. Start today. Choose truth. Make space for it. Pay the price. The angels are watching, and they're rooting for you to become a warrior of the divine forge. So here's your call to action. Take one sincere step today. Write down one truth you've been avoiding and commit to facing it this week. Then join our community of truth seekers. Subscribe, share this video, and let's forge our souls together. The fire's burning. Step into the forge and don't look back. Thanks for watching Angelic Awakening, where truth isn't a dream, it's your destiny. Like, subscribe, share, and let's build something eternal. The angels are watching.